Welcome to
Hey.
Tibalt's Apprentice.
Absolutely.
I am glad to have you here for a couple of reasons. Mainly because you represent somebody that, well, I've never met before. Somebody else that plays Magic.
Right.
And the idea here behind Tibalt's Apprentice was indeed to expand the circle of love, as it were. At any rate, we want to expand our knowledge and experience with Magic. And to do that, I feel like you need to meet new people, you need to talk to people, you need to play with people.
It's like chess.
Exactly.
The more people you play, the better people you play, the better you get.
The better you're going to get, absolutely. So with that in mind, how long have you been playing Magic?
Since Alphas.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And what first got you into the game back then?
Okay, kind of an accidental discovery. A friend of mine invited me out because he'd just gotten a box of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to bring me out, teach me how to play it because he didn't have anybody else to really play with.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, fine. So we go out to Denny's, we're sitting there, we got some food on the side and stuff like that, and we're going back and forth, and he's trying, keyword here, trying to explain it to me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of getting it. The game's pretty cool for the most part, but it was just like, if he could just explain things a little bit better, because there's a lot that I'm not understanding.
Mm-hmm.
There's that whole sequence of, okay, untap, upkeep, draw, you've got your phases, you can attack and do a couple of other things, but the phases were just so out of sync for him and stuff like that.
Right.
And I lost the game, as I recall. I'm pretty sure I lost the game, because I couldn't quite figure out what was going on, but I liked what I saw.
Okay.
So I told him, okay, dude, you're not really explaining anything to me really well here. Is there a rule book? He's like, yeah, I got one here. I said, I tell you what, give me the rule book. I'm going to take it home tonight, and we're going to play again tomorrow. Okay? So those little rule books back in the day, like 90 pages of
Sure,
those,
yeah.
I take that home inside of, maybe 30, 40 minutes, read through the entire thing. It's like, okay, I got this.
Nice.
Came back next day and taught him how to actually play it. Okay?
Okay.
I've got that type of a mind. I run a law firm, been doing that for the last 17 years.
Uh-huh.
So, and I do get asked this every once in a while when I do tournaments, like Friday Night Magic and a couple of other things. Somebody finds out what I do. It's like, hey, doesn't law really, work a lot like Magic the Gathering? I say, yeah. It's kind of a microcosm of law in and of itself. All the patterns, the combinations, the rules, the actual situations, and how they affect everything in that kind of rapid fire succession.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that long ago, and you took to it right away.
Oh, yes.
Have you been playing the entire time, or was there ever a point where you got out of it?
I've sold my cards on a few occasions because I was like out of work, had to make a card payment or whatever else it was. So yeah, I've gone through it. I had an Alpha Black Lotus at one time that I sold someplace out in Long Beach. I got about $1,400 for the set of rares. I had an Error Cyclopean Tomb of all things back in the day, along with a whole bunch of others. So he just took what he wanted, which was a small stack of stuff, and said, here's a check, $1,500.
Nice.
Cool, thank you, God, I can make my car payment now. Wow.
Okay. But you may have gotten out of it, or you may have sold your cards at that point, but did you quit playing the game?
But I sold all of them, and I never really got out of the game.
Okay.
Eventually, I would always find other people to play. I still had a few decks, and no matter what, I'd always keep playing.
Okay.
Set after set. I just haven't bought the last, 3 or 4 sets.
Okay.
No time.
Any particular reason or any particular sets that you didn't like or chose not to play, or just...
Oh, God, that's a tough one. I kind of didn't like Nemesis up to a point from back in the day, but there were still some interesting cards from Nemesis.
Right.
Favorite one was probably always Weatherlight. Between Weatherlight and Tempest. Huge toss-up for me.
Okay.
On those two.
That was about the time that I got out for a little while. But having said that, that leads us into the next question, which is, do you have a favorite type of Magic to play? Do you have a favorite format?
Oh, no.
No?
No, I liked Emperor a lot, but I don't mind doing one-on-one. I don't mind doing tournament, group, Shark Pit. Commander is one of the ones that I've gotten into here recently. I finally just built my second Commander deck.
Okay.
So that's been interesting. The first one was kind of wonky. The second one is very, very ruthless, because it's like, okay, it took me the first one to say, here's how you put one together. All right, I got the feel for it now. Now let me go ahead and really think about it. And now it just irritates everyone.
Sounds like a group hug deck. I have a suspicion that I might find exactly what it is myself later on.
I'll give you one of its key components.
What's that?
Narset.
Narset.
I throw that out there, and if I can get the -9 effect on it, I'll go ahead and sacrifice if I have to, because nobody plays spells against me at that point in time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, that's going to be interesting to see then. Let me ask you though, since you have been buying cards all along, where do you buy them?
Oh, all over the place. Frankensons, online, eBay, a couple times on Amazon, at tournaments, things of that nature. I'll go to maybe a Friday Night Magic or something like that. I may buy individual cards off of people. I may trade for them. Back in the day, we used to do ante.
Right.
I lost a Mox Pearl
Oh.
at one point in time,
Ouch.
but I later on got it back.
Okay.
And I gained a Chaos Orb at one point through ante.
Nice, nice. So you really have played for a long time and
yes.
all the different variations of it. So with that, what type of cards do you buy? Do you seek out cards, or you just try to collect a little bit of
You
everything?
mean by color or something like that?
Exactly. What are your criteria for buying cards? Are you looking to complete sets? Are you looking to just get the cards I need for what deck I need?
I like to play.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. I'm not really so much into it for the collector's value. There was at one point in time, one of my friends here pointed out to me that I had a card in one of my decks that was worth about 500. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? The last time I saw this, it was like $40 or $50. And it was, I think it was like Underground Sea or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Full land.
Yeah.
Slapped it down. He's like all excited about it. I'm like, no way. I look it up on my phone and, oh my God. You know, on the low end of things,
And
it's like $450.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what am I sitting on top of here?
Yeah.
And I'm just playing with it casually because
Well,
I don't really collect. I'm here to play. I like to.
I agree with that part of it, though at times, like you said, times and circumstances come up where it's like, well, you know, I need to get rid of these because they do have a certain cash value attached to them. It doesn't mean, and that's not necessarily why I play them. The
Those
idea
were
is
times of desperation.
Sure,
That
sure.
was it.
Absolutely. With that said, what type of cards do you like, though? I mean, are you going for creatures, you go for spells, or you just go for effects when you build those decks?
Okay. With that, another little moral of sorts. I remember maybe about 15 years ago, I think I was at a Friday Night Magic. And there was a story that one of the other guys was telling about how one of his friends, a dad, and his son, he'd buy all the cards. He'd buy like 2 or 3 boxes of boosters or whatever it is, open them all up, take all the rares out of them. Then he'd build, you know, whatever powerful deck that he had, and the kid would get all the commons and uncommons.
Right.
The kid would come back, build something real quick, real simple, whatever it is, and his dad, you know, with all these rares, all the power packs and everything else, thought he'd have his son beaten,
Right.
you know, within a few shots. What happened? Kid comes out with these cheap little common, uncommon spells. Pop, 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 pop. Dad's dead. Okay, I'm done. Next game. And I thought to myself, wow, you can't just use the rare cards. You can't just focus on one particular card or another, really.
Right.
If you get that focused, you're going to be cutting yourself off from a world of possibilities.
Absolutely.
And I think it was like, and I'm going to misquote this here, I think it was the John Cage concept that by cutting yourself off from a certain particular sound or something like that, you're cutting yourself off from a world of experience of music or something like that.
Gotcha.
I forget the exact phrase. So it's that particular mentality that I've got over the years that I don't want to focus. In other words, you abandon the focus and you kind of draw in everything and really just play with it to see what actually works.
Okay. With that said, are you playing online at all? Have you
No.
tried Arena? Are you interested in trying Arena?
No.
Why not?
There is a complete lack of social interaction there.
Okay.
I like the feel of having friends around me and stuff like that. To physically go out, sit down, whether it's here, coffee shop, Denny's, whatever. It's people and friends.
Right.
All that type of stuff. You sit there on the computer, what are you doing? It's like worse than watching TV. And I stopped watching TV in about 2005. I
Okay.
just got done with it. Too many commercials. Why bother? I'm just
Sure.
wasting my time.
Absolutely.
People. Go out, have fun, all that type of stuff.
Nice, nice. I like that answer. Let me go through my notes here and see what else I wanted to cover here. Since you're just getting into Commander, you've only got experience with a couple of them, but you've seen other people play them.
A little bit.
Okay, so what is it about that format, or rather, let me ask you this. Since you do work with the law, you have to work within a certain structure. Since Commander limits you to that 100 cards, singleton format, do you find that comforting or restricting?
Neither.
Okay?
In other words, once again, I come from that perspective that this is a new style. Okay? So in other words, learn the style and understand what it has to offer. So when I was in my chess clubs, playing National League chess and all that type of stuff, one of the things that one of my trainer did at one point in time is he took the rook, the bishop, and the knight completely off the board along with the queen. He said, you have 2 kings and all your pawns. Fight each other. Okay? Go to it. And it was kind of a training ball of sorts. In other words, you have to learn how to only work with your pawns. You have no backup. You have no rooks. You have no bishops. You have no knights. You have to figure out all the different pawn combinations and everything else in order to try and get across the board to maybe get a queen back. Okay? Then maybe you can get some power. So all the training drills that went into that type of stuff. So a lot of that kind of bleeds through into the way I look at how to play Magic. So in other words, looking at a particular restriction in that sense, it's just another dimension. It's not really a restriction or an expansion in that regard, it's just different.
Okay, fair enough. Well, with that said, I think we've covered most of the topics that I had planned on talking with you. Thank you for your time.
You got it.
And